Morning. For those online, please confirm you can hear me. Yeah, so I just want to confirm. Okay, good. So for those online, please confirm you have installed the tool for this class, Microsoft Power BI. Okay, good. So all is simplified. Okay, good. So if you have not installed that tool, please just go to your browser and click on just search Microsoft Power BI and you can download that. It's just straightforward. So we can just kickstart the class. Okay, good. Grace, if you have any question, please drop that in the chat box. Yeah, and the data set to be shared, to be shared in the chat and also in the Google Classroom. So do make sure to check the places. Yeah, so for our quiz, so far we've had 4 quiz, and then the quiz are open till the end of the program. So you still have time to take the quiz till the end of the program. So after the program, you can't take the quiz because these are the things that make up to get the certificate of participation. So make sure you have your attendance signed. If you not signed attendance, let me just put that here so you can just scan your attendance, sign it right away. Also, please sign in for today's class. Please also note that signing in after the class does not count. So it has to be during the class, during the live class. Yeah. See, okay, for your attendance, please make sure you are using your student ID. Please don't use your email address. Everybody has a student ID. Please make sure you use your student ID. Don't use your email address. Found out that some people use everybody has a student ID. Make sure. Our facilitator for today's class is here.
Most especially for people in the farm. If you can hear me, can you simplify? Let me know if you can hear me. Thank you for joining this morning. So, yes, some excitement. If you can hear me, thank God. That's, uh, exciting. So, I don't know if you think it's hard. So, hello, can you hear me now? Most especially people on the
Zoom call. All right. Okay, I think they are now very excited. All right, that's very good. Awesome. Okay, that's nice. I can see you all. All right. So most especially for the people on the call, kindly drop the locations and where you are joining us from, and let me see some of your expectations. Why I'll be speaking to some people on site. So let me try to get to understand some of the things you've learned in the last few days. Today is day 5, if I'm not mistaken. All right, do you have, please use one of the mic here. Let me have some takeaway from what people have learned from the Excel classes to SQL classes, and also what is going to be their expectation. So I would like to hear from everybody. So you can start from here. So please your name and what you have learned. Let me know summary about what you have learned so far.
All right, good morning. My name is Blessing. I'm just joining the class for the first time today, but I've been following up online. So I've just learned. I've learned from things online.
Good morning. My name is Shegun. So before I came here, I didn't actually know anything about SQL, how to use it. But now I've gotten to a level where I can say I can perform some actions on the queries myself now. I've learned a lot from this class.
That's nice.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Lucy. Okay, so I had a prior knowledge on Excel and SQL before, but I don't know how to use Microsoft SQL. So I've learned how to run data using Microsoft SQL and also some formulas on Excel, talking about learn and other formulas. I've also been able to learn them and how to use them.
My name is Raphael. I'm just joining for the first time.
Okay, my name is Obina. I got to learn about some interesting formulas in Excel and the Excel add-on, sorry, the data analysis add-on in Excel and all the powerful functions it could do. I learned about pivot tables and basically manipulation and cleaning data in Excel, and then also in SQL too, how to run some interesting queries. Yeah.
My name is Emmanuel, and when I came to the class, let me say, before I came for the training, I thought Excel was all about calculations, whereby I carry out just mathematics, add this one to get this. But here I had an eye opener that it is beyond just carrying out basic mathematics operations. You can visualize data and you can create a dashboard to make it look more beautiful. And also, I also knew how to query from the database as well using, is it SSMS?
My name is Benaibu. So I really enjoyed the Excel class as well, and I got to learn something quite new. Although I had gotten the training in Excel before when I was a teenager, but I never got to this data analysis part, especially that function, that feature where we had to go do the add-on and use that tool to analyze data. So I really enjoyed that one. Then I also enjoyed the data analysis session with SQL as well. I got to download that Microsoft Data Studio, and it was really amazing. And then I think my favorite part is the machine learning part. So especially using the logistic regression, and then also the classification that we did, I learned how to use those algorithms to derive insights from data sets. So it's been quite an amazing journey for me so far. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Anne. I think I've really enjoyed the Excel class. I've learned how to analyze data, clean data, create dashboards, and just use Excel to do a lot of visualization. So yeah, I've enjoyed the Excel class too.
So I was just saying, what have you learned so far with the 4 classes, SQL and Excel? What were you able to do now? What was the difference? Do you have any prior knowledge? And with what you've already had, what distinguished what you have before?
Okay, so before coming here, I was totally new to the concept of SQL, and so far so good. The introductory classes and some of the practice exercises that were done, I think I'm getting a good grasp of SQL, and also the analysis parts, the machine learning classes have been very very amazing, and I think I'm learning something new, and obviously I'm not the same as I started when I was here.
All right. It's really awesome to see a lot of amazing things that people have been saying, which has been an improvement to your prior knowledge, to your current understanding. So today, I will be taking you through how you can use one of the most acceptable and accepted and generally known tools for business analytics, which is Power BI. So I would like to say, why Power BI? So Power BI is one of the tools that helps you with just like an integration from Excel, whereby it helps you to do some amazing things that you cannot ordinarily do with Excel, whereby you have a weekly, monthly report that you have to be doing every day, repetitive tasks. But with Power BI, you can automate all these reports. You want to build an amazing dashboard whereby you can have insights from different regions on one particular page where your dashboard refresh timely. So those are the lot of amazing things that we are going to be learning on today's class. So let me, for the purpose of people who are very new to Power BI today, I'll be walking you through step by step and then give you some explanations on how Power BI interface and every other necessary things has been used. So what we learn in this lesson today, we are going to be discussing Power BI and its core uses, the Power BI elements, data transformations, which have Power BI query editors, preprocessing and editing in query, how to shape data and combine data. These are one of the most important things in Power BI. It's not about everybody can just go to Power BI and say they want to build a dashboard, but will you play with a different type of data? So you need to be able to process your data, shape it, and combine it. Shaping the data is talking to when you have, I'm very sure you will have seen some data. They have, let's use date as an example, where you have dates like 2022/1/ maybe March 3. Then you will see time, we see timestamp, we see everything in the same row. So how can you shape the data? By splitting them. So those are the kind of shaping and a lot more. We have some data whereby you have a region and location matched together. You want to remove them, split them. Those are kind of shaping, or you want to categorize data. So like you have your first name and last name in a particular sheet or a row and is there. And then you want to separate the row, the name, first name from the last name. So shaping data have different variations, which we are going to be demystifying in this class. So the next thing we are going to be doing is data modeling, which speak to how you view your data, how you create a relationship between your data. In the last class, you have been taught on SQL on how to create a relationship. I'm very sure they show you different type of relationship that we have. We have a relationship whereby we have one-to-one, one-to-many, you understand, many-to-many. So we have different type of relationship. So we are going to be speaking to that. Then how we are going to be moving to visualization aspect. We speak to build, bringing visual together, and then working with calculations, creating some formulas to get you some insights you are looking for. So as I've earlier said, so Power BI is one of business analytics solutions that let you visualize your data and share insights across your organization, connect to hundreds of data sources and bring your data into life via dashboards and reports. So one of the most exciting things about Power BI, we have three core things that Power BI do. We have data preparation and data analysis. We have visualizations, and you can do collaboration and sharing of your reports. I hope so. If you have questions, I will be taking your questions along as I'm speaking. So always drop your question or let call my attention to anything that is not clear. I will be a bit fast because I would like us to do some things, but you can still look at some of the highlights via our YouTube. So the data preparation and data analysis, this one is speaking to connecting to data source. That's what that one is doing. It's just to help you connect your data source, connect it to different data sources in terms of you want to go from your Power BI desktop to connect to your Excel, connect your SQL database and some other source. Then visualization is not just about begin to put your bar charts, table, card, putting them together. While collaboration is speaking to after you have done your analysis, you have done your dashboard creation, then you want people to begin to pick insights. Well, how would they pick insights? Because the visualization is domiciled on your laptop, then you need to publish it so that people can have access to it. Then that is collaboration and sharing. So we have three products of Power BI, which is Power BI Elements. We have Power BI Desktop, Power BI Service, and Power BI Mobile. So for the Power BI Desktop, what you can see on the screen now, this is the service offered by Power BI Desktop. So you can see that you are the only one here under the Windows. Currently, Power BI currently operates officially on Windows with some, if you want to use Mac, you need to do some additional setup, which comprises a lot of steps. So for Power BI Desktop on Windows, you can still run it on a virtual machine on Mac. So for people that is using Mac, we have some content on our YouTube to show you how to do that. So now, for the Power BI Desktop, what Power BI Desktop is capable of doing is you can work with your data sets, like create visual and create reports, which means that you create your dashboard, but it's limited to only that. But when we are talking about Power BI Service Pro, this is a cloud and online service. So you can work with your data set, like importing data sets, create a visualization, create your report dashboard. You can collaborate whereby different people in your organization can join you in building the dashboard together. Then you can share your results to different platforms from there. So that is called that's the Power BI service. But for Power BI Mobile, so it only absorb everything you have done on your Power BI service. You can publish it as well and let it be showing on your Power BI Mobile. So you can access the report anywhere. So those are the three categorizations of elements that we have in Power BI. So for I'm very sure everybody have downloaded because I requested a share the link to download. Have you all installed? So I won't like us to take more time here, but this is just the way the interface look. The data view is showing up there. We have the report view here. The report, I think I'm very sure everybody is familiar with this. So I would like us to go into details. Like I don't want to use slide much so that, but I want us to have a hands-on practice. Well, let me just give a brief so that everybody can be familiar as we are going on it. So when we are talking about pre-processing and data modeling with Power BI, these are the things they are talking about. When you launch, have you all launched your Power BI now? Okay, when you launch your Power BI, there is one interface that is going to come up to you. Let me launch my own Power BI too. So we have a lot to cover under this Power BI class, because we have two aspects of this class. We have how to use Power BI, and then how I'm now going to be training you on business analytics cases on Power BI. So that will be taken tomorrow. But today I walk you through how you can make use of Power BI and understand some different concepts in Power BI. So tomorrow we are just going to do business cases so that you can begin to be very proud of what you have learned. So this is when you open Power BI, this is the interface that comes to you. This is just like a summary view of what you can do, like a fast accessing that you can do. You can begin to get data here. I hope you can see my mouse there. You can get your data, recent sources. You can see that all the files that I've used recently, those are the one that is appearing here. If you need tutorial on Power BI or you want to join Power BI forum, these are what we have here. So I'll be closing that. So now this is the Power BI report page. So here we have the report. The report is speaking to where we are seeing here. This is the report page. The next thing is the data, where we have our data. This is the data view where this place shows all the data you've imported in your Power BI. And this place shows the relationship. You can see the relationship where you create the relationship between your data. So please, can you help me drop the data that we are going to use for today's class to the group, and also some other file? Share it with everybody here, or you can upload it to one particular drive so that they can all download it from there for easy. All right. So now, so this is so if you want to import data, right? Okay. All right. I've been told now that the data is in the Google Classroom for most people that are not on the Google Classroom. They will share the link to download it with you. So now, if you want to import data into Power BI, we have various mediums to import data in Power BI. So for easy, like if you want to import very fast, like maybe you are in a hurry, this is they created this one recently in the latest version of Power BI. You can just click here. If you want to import via Excel, if your file is in Excel format. So if your file is in SQL format, you use this. Or if you want to paste your data, do you know that you can paste your data from Excel and paste it into Power BI directly? Let me show you. Let's assume I want to copy this data now. Instead of importing data, you can copy your data. And paste into Power BI. So can you see that? So you can copy, then you load it. If you load, you can rename the table to anything you want. So that is very easy. So you can as well type in there. You can type there as well. You can type X, Y, Z. You can type here. You can type like the way you interact with Excel. You can type. You see the way I'm typing. You can type here. You can type just like the way you interact with Excel. So that's one of the things you can do. Like you can work anything the way you work on Excel. You can do it here as well. So the next thing is try sample data. You can, if you don't have access to any data and you want to practice, you can try a sample data. But for you to use sample data, you need to have data connection. You understand? You can load that sample data. It will give you some pre-installed Power BI data that you can use to practice. So now, let me explain some of the ribbon side here to you. So this home page, you have access to another medium to import data as well. You can see here, get data. You can import data in several ways. You see, you can import from Power BI data set, Power BI data files, different varieties of medium. And they've as well highlighted some few, they call it quick access. And then we have enter data. This paste data here is enter data here. If you click this enter data, you can paste data directly into this place. Is the replica of this paste data, this particular place here. So these are the data, this particular place. If you look at it below here, it's called data. It's talking to how you can import data in various means. This is query. Query is speaking to, if you want to, like, you can see import data via this query, but I will explain this one later. So when this is another thing you can do here, instead of you to come to this place to pick some feature, you can use new feature here. You can click new feature here. You understand? Instead of coming to display, like, okay, I want to pick the feature. You can click feature here. This one is just talking about anything you can insert. Then if you want to insert text, if you want to use text, like you want to do heading and the likes, you can do it here. Then you can format this. You are going to see how you are going to be using it to format, but this is taken to text. So if you want to import more feature, like you want to do that, maybe all the feature that you have here are not enough for you, and you want to download some feature, some other new created feature from the Power BI store, you can click here as well. So what we have at the top here, you can see perform them here. I just want you to note that. So it's new measure, new quick measure, and publish. This is where we publish Power BI. Immediately we import data now, you see the way it works. So another aspect of the ribbon is insert. So insert has all this. So we still have text box, button. This button is speaking to if you want to do your navigation button, like you want to go back, show some indication. I hope you all understand what we mean by a button. Like you want to do a navigation, like okay, back. You want to do different scenario. I will show you some of the example of that. If you want to use shape to do some design on your dashboard, so you use this is where you come to insert, you come to element here. If you want to import image, this is where you come to import image. And Sparkline, I'm very sure during the Excel class, maybe they show you Sparkline. Sparkline is just talking about when you have let me show you a sample of Sparkline. So let me check. They have. So this example of Sparkline, something like this is just like a trend line. That is a sample of Sparkline. All those lines that you can see in the table. So that's what Sparkline does. So modeling. So the modeling here is talking about you can pick new measure. I will show you what measure is. Then you can use parameter. There's not much here, but we are still going to be speaking to most of them. So under view, that's where you can use color theme. You can use color under view. You can select different colors of your choice. Then you can set your page view, like this page. If I want it to be, if you want the page to be in actual size, fit to width, fit to page. If you want to do your, we know we discussed about the mobile view of the Power BI the other time. This is where you set up your mobile view. If you click on this mobile view, it will change the navigation to your phone. You can begin to set your phone size. So this is a mobile view. You can do your Power BI to have a mobile view. So I'm very sure if you look at your mobile app, some statistics there, these are the part of places that they use to create, if you want to create a mobile view. So, close this. So the next thing is you can use bookmark selection, and so we are going to be discussing in details all of this. So the next thing I'll be showing us is how to import data. So for today's class, I will be showing you, we are going to be working on two types of data that we are going to be importing. I will show you how to import data via Excel and also how you can import data via online, how you can script data online. I hope that will be very useful. So now, this is our data set. This is the data set we are going to be using for today's class. So this is a sales data. The sales data reached from 2018, 2019, 2020. And this is the same data that was used to train you on SQL. I hope you all remember. So most of the thing that you did there is going to be very useful. Okay, they said they can't see anything. Oh, let me check. All right, let me share again. Hello, sorry for the people online. Sorry that I hope you can see the screen now. Kindly let me know. All right, I will quickly do a recap. So can you confirm you can see the screen now? Please, who is the moderator for the Zoom? Please always check the chat and call my attention to anything if there is issue. All right. So how I wish I know where I lost you guys so that I can pick you back from there. All right. So what I've explained so far, for most especially for the people on this Zoom call, is that I've shown us how we can understand different report that we have on Power BI. We first of all discuss about home pages. What are the different things that we have on the home pages? We have different medium to access data, which is about get data, how you can import data directly using Excel, SQL, and also different page where we have how to use text box and how to identify some visualization charts. That's what we discussed on home page. On the search page, we discussed about how to use button. Those are the button shape and image where we can find that. On the modeling, we discussed about some of the calculation that can be done on the modeling. So those are the things you have mixed so far. You haven't missed much. Sorry about letting you guys be stranded without putting attention to the call there. So now, I've also said they should share the link to the data set that we are going to be using. Yeah, sorry. Okay, now, so what we are going to be doing now is that I'm going to show you some of the data that we are going to be using for today's class. So, okay, so the data has been shared to the Zoom call as well. So for you guys to download it. All right, so for this today's class, we are going to be looking at some sales data. We can see that this sales data has the data of year 2018, year 2019, and year 2020. And also we have a product table for the sales. We have the location where the sales was done. Then we have the customer data and we have a sales people. So in the business settings, so we have different type of data you can play with as a business analyst. You understand? So this particular one is going to be on a sales scenario. You know, as in a sales settings, we have people that sell the products. You understand? Just like your marketers, your sales people. Then we have your target audience, those people who are your customers, who you are selling to, and then you have a location where you are selling your goods. Then you have the products you are selling. Then you have the record of all your sales that you are selling. I hope we all get that. So now, so this data have the replicas of that scenario. For example, now, when you have a database, your database is supposed to capture your products from your SQL class. You're supposed to capture your products that have items of all the products that you sell, which is all the items that you sell. And also, you need to have your branch locations. Where are your locations that you have across all the cities or the country? And then you have a database where people make a purchase of your products. Definitely, your product supposed to have a ID that's going to link the product information to location that was sold, and to the salesperson that sell the product, and also to the customer that bought the product. So that is the scenario that we have here. So this sales table here, this is what we have here. You can see that when it's a particular product is being sold, we have the order ID, then the product that was bought, the location that the product was bought, we have the salesperson that bought the product, we have the customer, the salesperson that sold the product, then we have the customer that bought the product, we have the date that the product was bought, we have the quantity, and we have the price. I hope we are following. So now, this is one of the scenarios that we are going to be having. So under the products, different things that we have on the product table. So we have the product ID, the product name, the cost of that particular product. We have the original sales price, the discount that was given to that product, the current price, then the tax on that product. For the location, these are the things that we have on the location. We have the just normal geographical information of the location with about the country, the state, the coordinate, the population of that particular place, and the land area. And also for the customer, we have the customer name and the ID that was generated for that customer. Then for the last one, we have the salesperson ID and also the name of the salesperson. So these are our internal staff. So who are selling the products. So I would like to digress a bit that when you have a scenario like as a business analyst, you need to have your benchmark of how you tackle problems. So one of these, I will be presenting this. So you need to have a working solution statement. Okay, let me use this. Okay, Okay, so now we'll be looking at this working solution statement. So when you have if you are being consulted as a business analyst, so there are some questions that you need to understand and basic things that you need to know before you start your problem solving. You need first of all understand, looking at the data that I just shared now, what is the problem you are trying to solve with that data? So you should be able to identify the problem you are trying to solve. Is it that you want to understand cost, or the money being spent on the product, or which product are you spending more and then you are having lower income? You understand? You need to understand that. Is it that time because different data has different scenario? What are the things you are trying to solve? You need to understand that. Is it the product quality, or we have a lot of things that you need to understand when you are trying to solve a problem? So you need to first of all identify your problem statement before you work on a dashboard. Then why is this problem? So you need to look at, okay, what are the things that associate with this problem? Is it that a particular sales, maybe you have the data per region. Which region do we have higher number of sales, and where are we having decline? What is the problem? Where we are having decline, is it that there is a war there, or is it that they are having a seasonal variation? I don't know the costs that we study, but I'm very sure that you are familiar with economics. When you're talking about seasonal variation, cyclical, kind of thing, all those things that happen as a stock, just like we have where we are doing this what is his name? This where they are fighting war between now. So now sales will drop very well around that region. You understand? So you need to understand why your sales is being dropping. So those are the kind of association you need to identify when you are working with your data. You understand? You need to identify. So because those are the insights you need to use to explain your dashboard story. Imagine you build your dashboard. You just know that you need to use bar chart, you need to use pie chart, you need to use a trend. And at the end of the day, they now ask you convey the insights from your dashboard. You couldn't say anything. You understand? That's why you have built something nice. So before you start, you need to understand from your dashboard why is the problem. So you begin to see where the problem is. You understand? Maybe there is maybe in a particular region, high cost of living over there is very high. And a place where we have low cost of living and the products you are taking to low cost of living. You understand where people can't afford much thing, you are selling the same product of the same value. Let me give you an insight. Like now we have a Coca-Cola company, you understand? Before they are doing big Coke at higher price, but later they became to okay, let's be selling it 100 naira. So now we have higher number of people buying the product, while the company is making higher revenue compared to when they are selling it at higher price. Just like a milk, when they are doing the team milk, the team milk, most everyone cannot afford it because of maybe 200 or so. But later they begin to do sachet. They realize that the lower number of people who couldn't afford it, population are very high than people that can afford it. Then they give them products that they can afford so that they can begin to have high number of turnouts. I hope you understand that. So you need to understand why the problem and where do you observe it. So where do you observe it speaking to? Where does that problem actually occurring most? You understand? Where do you have that pattern? Where do you have that similarity? So is it that it cluster between a particular kind of region? You understand? Is it a group of people that actually been affected? So you need to understand where do you observe that problem so that you can be able to create an intervention. I hope you are all following. So what does this affect? So is it that the type of demographic that this particular issue that you're trying to solve, maybe it's affected a product, maybe it's affected maybe a particular family or is affected. So it depends on the type of data you are solving actually. You understand? Maybe it affected a type of organization. You understand? So let's speak to when we have a COVID-19. You understand? Definitely the product that will be selling mostly at that time is food. You understand? So you cannot expect people to be patronizing transportation at that time. So what does that issue you are solving? What does it affect most? Then the next question: when did we first observe the problem? You understand? When we are talking about variation, definitely before we observe a variation, it is variation if you start from one point to one point before you understand there is a variation. You understand? You can't say something you can't say there is variation if there is nothing to compare it with. I hope you're getting that. So you need to understand where you observe the problem. Where does the problem first started? You understand? Then the last thing here is okay. How do we observe the problem symptoms? So it's just about preceding the other one. Like, how you want to understand? Okay, where does the problem start? So how often do we observe the problem? So this is the last thing: is that okay? Does this problem occur only once, or does it occur twice, or is continuous? So from that, it's now going to give you how you are going to design your dashboard. You understand? It's not only designing dashboard that matter. How you are going to begin to create your insights. How you are going to do your calculations, formulas, and the likes. So that's one of the things that you need to understand as a business analyst. So Power BI is just a tool to do business analysis. So it's not only Power BI you can use. You can use every other tool. You can use the Excel that you guys were taught how to use, and also. So I'll be sharing this particular file with us at the end of today's class. So let me go back to the Excel file. So now, this is the data that we have here. So we have all this. So we are going to work on doing, based on what I was presenting on my last dashboard there. So we are going to be doing shaping and combining of data. So shaping and combining of data is speaking to merging to, like now, look at this particular data that we have here. we have 2020, 2019, 2018. Definitely, we need to match this data together. I hope we all understand that. That's one of the things we are going to do. And then we need to find a relationship between this product table and sales table so that we can begin to filter around those comparisons. We need to ensure we create a relationship between all these tables. Those are one of the things that we are going to be doing. So, which is, this is an example of it. If you look at this particular column, we have two types of data shaping and combining tables. We have append and merge. So when we are using append is speaking to, when you have, look at this particular data, we have a column, we have column ID, name and grade. We have ID, name and grade. When you are using append, you have to make sure that the header of your table are the same thing. So when they match this, when they append this data together, you can see that it forms a full length of table. Then when you are matching data, all this has been, I think they have taught you this during the SQL class, but I'm trying to do some recap because of people that's joining this class for the first time. So when you are matching data, you're speaking to matching data to expand you are doing it by column wise, whereby you are increasing the number of columns that you have. In the append, the number of row increase. In match, number of column increase. I hope you understand that. Look at the second example here. We have student ID and name. And look at the second table, table 2. We have student ID, subject, and grade. So we want to match the name of these people to their subject and grade. So that's what the match does. So the relationship was created with student ID. So you can see we have a full table. So that's what the match table, match function, that's what it does. So I'll be showing you where you have match on Power BI. And then another thing that we are going to be doing today is relationship cardinality. How to create relationship between two variables. So we have, look at this, we have one-to-one relationship whereby this particular one here match with this data. They are all unique. So when we have one-to-many, it shows that one particular data appear once, while the other one appear 2 or more. So when we are talking about many-to-many, you can see that we have this particular data appear 2 times, 2016, 2016. You see the data match together, many-to-many. That's many-to-many. So we have different type of other relationship, but as we are going to proceed in this course, we are going to be learning much more on them. So one thing I will be doing now is that I want to show us how to import data so that we can do some refresher. Then tomorrow we continue from where we are going to stop today. So we have the next 1 hour to go into more practical demo. So now I want to import data. So I will advise as a Google Business Analyst that we have here. So if you want to import data, go to transformation. So when you come to transformation, you're going to have more flexibility of working your data. It shows that you know what you want to do. So when you come to, so this it has opened. This is it. So okay, now it has opened. So come to new source. So when you click new source, you see different importing medium that you have here. You can click more. You can click more. So when you click more, it shows you a lot of importing medium that we have. You can see different. So you can see different medium to import data. You can import file, database, Power Platform, and the likes. So for today's class, we'll be importing via Excel. You can even search here. You can use your search to pick any of the data source you want to use. So I'll be using Excel. You can use test CSV and the likes too. So I'll be collecting using Excel. So when you click Excel, you need to go and find where you have that data that you want to use. So when the window pop up, what you need to do, you can click on your desktop or just find a way where you can navigate where you have the data. So my own data is somewhere around AI Everyday Resource Park. So this is the training data. So I'm going to be opening it. So this is the procedure. You can all concentrate to look at what I'm doing because the video is still on YouTube. You can just use that one to create a step by step so that when you are lost here, you can be able to ask questions. You understand? And then I'm also in the WhatsApp Telegram group that they created for you. So I'll be able to answer some of your questions too because I would like us to move faster. So now I'll be importing the data. So now if you look at the Excel table that we have here, we have, okay, there is something I would like to show you. You can see that customer data, okay, let me use this one. You can see we have so many data that is showing here. So what I want to pick based on what we have on this place. So based on what we have, you see we have so many sheets that we want to import. So based on that, I will need to select the one that I actually need. So I'm going to select the customer data. Let me check. Okay. Let me select sales table. So anyone you want to, you can click them to fill what you want to select. After you click them, if you don't check list it, it will not work. So I'm clicking location, customer, sales, 2019, 2018, sales people. These are the, I'm working with these 3 years. So if you want to select everything, you can select it. But for the one that you want to use, so you just select those one. Then you click, all right, go ahead. Sales people, okay. Thanks, I've already clicked here. All right, so this is data I'm working with. Then click OK. So this is the data that we have here. So now, so let me explain this query, Power Query Editor. So this Power Query Editor that we are working on now is one of the powerful tools of Power BI. It gives you opportunity to clean your data, like modify your data into the best shape format that's going to make your analysis very convenient for you. So the first thing I share with you on working solution statement with Power BI that I just showed to you is one of the things that's very important for you. When after you've identified what you want to do, what you want to solve with your data, then it's going to give you insight of how you are going to clean your data. So because now we have this data imported, what do you want to do with this data? You need to identify them before you begin to do your Power Query data cleaning. So now I know that I need to show this data per year and show trend of the data. So definitely in my scheme of work, I need to ensure that these 3 data are matched together. Look at this data. We have 2018, 2019, 2020 and 2019. So you need to match these data together. Then we have a customer, location, and product. You need to create a relationship between those data. So you need to have that at the back of your mind. So let me explain some of the ribbon that we have in this query editor. In this home page here, as you all can see, this new source, this is where I imported data now. So now if I click recent source, it will show the sources that I just used. You can see it. So the next thing is enter data. This enter data is the one I showed to you the other time that you can copy data from your Excel and paste. That's what this enter data does. So if you click it, you can copy your data from Excel, or you can type directly. You can type directly there. You can type directly, just like the way you type in Excel. So you can do that here. Then the next thing is, where we imported the data from, like you want to identify where you imported your data, the history of that data. If you click data source settings, you can see it here. This is where you can see it. So if you want to refresh your data, like you want to update it manually, this is where you come. If you want to refresh everything at once, click refresh all. But if you want to refresh just only 2019 says that my cursor is currently on, just click preview, refresh preview. So advanced editor, we are going to use this advanced editor to show you what it does. The advanced editor is just going to expand this formula bar. That's what it's going to do for us. Then we have choose column, remove column, keep row, remove row. split column so that the thing they are going to be doing, you can use first column as header, first row as header. So the match that we are talking about the other time, this match query that we are talking about, this is where you use it. I hope you all know what match query does now. So append query, this is where you use it. So these are the things that the home page do. So somebody said, sorry, I'm lost. Transform data instead of load. Okay. So now the next thing is transform. So let me click on transform. So under the transform, let's assume this heading that we have here is not what you want to use as heading. It's the next column that we have here. You can click use first row as header. Let me click it. You see the way it will work. You see that it has used the next row as header. That's what it does. So it happens when you have the data in your Excel. Let's say this particular data, it has something here. It has another name here, like a table name. It has a table name here. Let's say it has a table name, and when you import it inside Power BI, this table name is going to appear first. So you need to remove it to make this second one here the header. You understand? So that's why you need to use that. That's when you use that function. I hope you all get that. That's when you use that function. So the next thing we have here is transpose. So transpose helps us to transform I hope you all understand transpose. It's the same thing is happening on Excel. When you have a particular data that is in form of maybe let's say horizontal, you want to take it to vertical. You understand that kind of transpose. So that's what it does. So replace value, the way we have replace value in Excel, that's what this one does to field. So I will show you what we have as field. So field work like, let's assume there is a particular where we are still going to work on that. Let me just show you some insight analysis. So let's say you have a data like this, 2021. Let's 2021 is here. Another data is 2020, 2022. We have another data is on 2023. So now you have variable that is like this. You have variable like this, 1, 2. We have this variable like this. You get it? Okay, let me call this one year. Let me call this one serial number. So now you want this particular data to come down like this on the Power BI. The Power BI make it more simply viable for you. Let me try an example because I would like you to get what I'm saying so that you're not lost. So let me use an example. So I'm very sure you all might have been seeing some data in Excel whereby instead of people to repeat 2021 in this place, telling you that this data belongs to 2021, they will just write it like this, leave space, write it like this, or they match the center together. How we have been seeing that kind of data, that they will just put one here. Some data, they might do it this way. They might match it together, whereby one will be in the middle. I hope you all understand that one will be in the middle like this to show that the data, they just want to make the data look very, very clean. Let me do this. They want to make the data look very clean. I hope you all understand. Let me call this. So they want the data to look like, you understand? So in this kind of scenario, when you import it to Power BI, let me take a step further. Okay, let's come to home. Let's come to, I can go to recent source. If I click recent source, it will make it more faster for me to locate that data. So now you see that data has come up, the data I just saved now. So now you see the way the data comes up now. You see that it show 1, 2, 3. You see the way you show it. So okay, I don't think I checklist it. Did I checklist it? Okay, yeah, I did. So now you see the way this data look now. it shows 2021 did not follow all through. So in our recent just concluded Power BI project participation class, so majority of people who are working on data, they find this as one of their major problems. So what this particular transform does is that it helps you to, like now, you click this column. When you click this particular column, it shows, you just come to fill. So if you use fill down, it means that 2021 we fill all the variable below here. But if you use fill up, that means 2022 will come up here. So which one do we supposed to use? Fill down. So immediately you click fill down, it will fill. You see now, 2021 has stopped here. It will stop where we have another value. You understand? That's what that one. So that's what it does. I hope we all get the clarity of it. So you are going to be seeing some data that's in that format. So by fourth column, so this is what's, so pivot column as well. It's just about transforming the data from row to column. So we are going to be working on this. So the split, we all understand what split does. So split is just to ensure the data, maybe we want to, like now, you can split this data now. Let's assume we want to split this data by delimiter. You can split it by number, by position, by lowercase, by uppercase, different categories. It depends on the data you are working with. Let's assume we want to split it by delimiter. I want to split this data by 0. So I can use custom value. Click on custom. So now the character I want to use is not there, but let me put 0. Then immediately you click that. You see now it has splitted it where we have 0. So that what it does. So that what the split does. So for math, if you want to change all the data that we have here, assuming we have a test variable here. Another thing you can, so let's assume we want to add another variable to this place. Let's say test value. Test value. So the test value is here. Let's say just want to generate different name. So now, let's assume we have a test here. So you assume you've added additional. I want to show interaction between your Excel table and your Power BI table. So now we add additional value to this Excel table now. Let's assume you are doing something and you now forgot that you're supposed to add one additional data to your Excel table so that you can show in Power BI. Now that I've added this particular variable here now, I can click save, Control X. You understand? When you click save there, come back to your Power BI. You understand? Click come to home. I was talking to refresh the other time. Click refresh preview. You see that the data has come up. So you can use it to pick your data from real time from your understand. Even if it's online, maybe some people just make transaction and you want to see the recent thing that has happened. Click preview, then you will see recent thing that has happened. So now this is what we have. So I discussed about, let me show transfer. Where is this? Okay. So now we have a null value. You can replace this null value. You can click on that null value here. Click replace value and say, okay, the name is supposed to be David. Let me put it there. Then assuming that is the name that's supposed to be there. You see, it has been replaced. So that's one of the things that replace does. And then I was talking about format the other time. Like, okay, I want to make sure that all these data, you see that some of them are in capital letter all through, some of them are in small letter, some of them are in mixed functions. So you can use this one to make it lowercase all through. You get it? That's what format does. You can use this one to make it uppercase. You get it? You can use this to make it to capitalize each word. So that's what it does. And one of the reasons why you need to understand all this is that when you begin to create a relationship, your data needs to be in the same format so that when you have Lagos in a column table. Let's say in a product table, you have a product, you have a product in the location Lagos in capital letter all through, and in the main location you have the location name Lagos in small letter, and you want to create a relationship. The relationship will not work because they are not in the same format. Did you get that? So you need to ensure that those are the part of data cleaning you need to do. So that's that. So other things, we are still going to be working on them. So for today's session, we have less than 30 minutes more. So let me just create some impression of dashboard for us to just see how we can just build a mini dashboard. So tomorrow we are going to do a lot of comprehensive things that we're going to be building. But before you build your dashboard, okay, now this particular data that I have here, if I want to load this particular data inside my Power BI, I don't actually need this text. I hope you all agree. I don't want it to follow me in my analysis. So you can right click. When you right click, you see enable load, including report refresh. There are two things. You see enable load. If you disable load, it will not show in your Power BI report if you load it. So another thing is that this including report refresh that, okay, so this one, let me just explain this one. So it will not show in your Power BI report. But what I need, the proper way I need to leave this is that this include in report refresh here. Like now, this particular data, it will load in my Power BI, but whenever there is a refresh in the database, the refresh will not occur in this report. Let me show you something now. Let's assume I created another column. Testing. Let's say so assuming I had additional data now, and I've already published this data. I already published it in my Power BI. I already published it in my Power BI reports. So if the data even enter into this Power BI, it will not reflect in my like the increment in that value will not be coming to my Power BI main reports. It might show here. You see that it shows here, but when I publish my report to Power BI, it will not add any value to it. So that's what including report refresh, because you are disable it. So that's what it does. So now, where we are going, what we need to do now is that I've already enable me uncheck this. So I'll disable this. So now let's look at our data here. We have 2020, 2018, and 2019. This procedure is going to be the same thing when somebody has a very good question. He said, if we change the column header in Excel, it will affect the loaded data in Power Query. Yes, it will affect. So immediately, there's something that you need to know as do's and don'ts. Is it now? This text value, we already imported it inside the Power BI. You understand? Let's assume you now change this heading. So let's say you change to something else. Power BI will tell you that there is error, because something that is very important with Power BI is that Power BI take cognizant of heading. That's where the power of Power BI lies. Because immediately you change the heading. No matter anything you want to change in Power BI, don't ever touch the heading. Or you change the file name without letting Power BI know that the file name has been changed. You need to go and update it. So now let's do this. You see now that it's no more found. You understand? Because you've changed the heading that Power BI, because Power BI work where the power of Power BI lies that it retain the heading, column name, and the file name. So you can change anything in between the file value, add another column, insert another column. Even if you remove a column too, it will affect it. So if you need to go and re-update everything you've done before. So now, but one advantage that you are going to be having is that Power BI will tell you where the problem lies. That's where you'll be reading error. You see, expression.error. The column text value of the table wasn't found. Do you get what I'm saying? So now it's telling you that there's a problem that a text value that the Power BI already get cognizant to is no more there. So you can go back to your previous step. You see this place that we have here. This is where Power BI recorded all the steps that you have taken in your analysis. So it show you how you started your analysis. This is how we imported the data. This is how we started. This when we promote the heading. This is when we change the file type. This is when we do feed down. I hope you remember that this is how the field looked like the other time. This is when we did the this is what I'm saying. The field was no. And when we did feed down, so you can see that it recorded everything for us. So you see now, this is where we begin to have problem because the file name has been changed. So what we now need to do is that you now need, maybe somebody mistakenly, maybe you create a database and somebody mistakenly make that error. So you as an analyst, you need to understand that, okay, this is where the problem lies. Then you need to go back to your data and correct the issue. So when you have done that, you go back to you save your work, go back to your Power BI again, click refresh. Immediately you click that, it will come back to, you see the error that we are seeing before. You see now the error has been rectified, it's no more there. I hope we all get that. So it's very important. So now I'm going to show you how to match data together in Power BI now. So you see we have in 2020, 2018, and 2019. So for you to match a data together, three data together, there is something you need to do. Number one, they have to be of the same column size. Like, let me come to this place. Look at this. They have to be of the same column size. Let me check. Okay, I can see it here. This 2020, you see how many columns do we have? We have column 10. So if it comes to column the 20, the sales, you see that we have column 8. So if it comes to 2019, we have column 8. Definitely this 2020 is having some additional variable that are, so if you merge it together now, it's going to give you some issues, like it's going to match, but it's going to give some additional column. You see now, you see where the extra column comes from. Do you understand? And if you look at this 2018, how many do we have here? You see that we don't have that type of column. But what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to merge it together so that you guys can see the output that we are going to have with that error. So now, click on any of the data that you want to merge. Go to merge query. Go to what we want to do is not merge. We want to append. You understand? We want to increase the number of rows. You get it? So it doesn't matter if one is 1,000 and another row is 2,000, another is 4,000. The most important thing is that the column have to have the same text value. One should not be a capital letter, one is a small letter. They have to be of the same thing. So now, come to append. So there are two things you need to do. If you need to take a decision, is either you want to use append query or append query as new. If you use append query, definitely this 2020 will be replaced with the new data set. But if you use append query as new, it's going to create another table. You understand? Leaving that three other data that you are using alone. So now, what I want to match is more than two. I want to match more than two data. I think we have three data here. So I'm going to pick 3 and more table. So now the 2020 that I pick here is here. So what I need to do now is to click 2018 and 2019. So when you are done with that, click OK. So now, so you can see that the column that you see that how many columns do we match the other time? What we matched was just 8, 10. One has 10, one has 18. The problem we are now having now is that one of the variable the heading does not match. You get it? So you now see that we now have so many column heading, which is one of the problem I'm explaining, that you need to ensure that the data you are matching have the same heading. So what we need to do now is that, you see, this is the append one. This is a report that we have. So now we need to investigate our data to ensure that they have the same column heading. So we need to come to, so there is two ways to do it. You can do it inside your Power BI, or you do it inside Excel. or you do it in your powers in your database source. So if you want to do it in Excel, this is what you need to do. You need to come to, but it's not recommended you do it in Excel again, because if it happen in the future, you need to be doing it manually. But if you do it in Power BI, you see the way it is recording all the steps, it will replicate that step to automate your work. So now, so let's come here. So this column 9 and 10 here is not supposed to be here. So I can use remove. You can see the way I did it. So what I've done is that I click on shift and use arrow to select at times. But if you want to do it one by one, you need to do it. You can remove it, click remove. Understand? Another thing you can still do is that there is a different way to delete a column. Assuming you have about, in a business enterprise, you might have about 2,000 columns. You understand? So maybe you want to remove some other column. See the way I'm highlighting everything now. Now, I want to remove this other two column. I can say that remove other column. So which means that it is this other column, this other two column that we remove. If I say remove other column, you see that I remove that too. That is one procedure. So another procedure is that I can remove the column itself. You can remove column itself. So it depends on what you want to do. The idea behind it is to make your work more faster. So for the people asking question on the Zoom, I'll be taking the question in the next few minutes. So now, let's rectify the data that we are trying to rectify the problem that we have with the data set. So now, if you all remember the other time, I promoted this data as heading the other time. Do you understand? Just for us to see if the column heading is not matched. So you see the problem that I generated. So I'm going to undo. The way you can undo is that by clicking this cancel here. You get it? That's taking it back the way it's supposed to be. So if you look at it now, you see we have 8.
Okay.
Okay, so if you want to if you want to create this visualization that you have here, it's not okay. All right. Okay. So this what we have here, this distribution stuff there. If you click, let's assume you click this now. It's not only for additional details. It's like when you want to have understanding about your data distribution. Let's use this. Let's use this quantity now. You can see that it shows that the quantities of good that was bought, we have 1 as the higher number, 4 as the minimum. So this is just one of the pre-data understanding. You understand that's the exploration that you can do. So if you want to do that, you need to go to view. If you see data preview, not data preview. Let me, what is wrong with this? So if you click monospace, it's going to, you see most of those things will be leaving. Column quality, you see that as I'm unchecking them, it's going. You see it. That's where I did it. So just come back here. So that's what that does. So just give you column statistics. If you have a unique, all those kind of things to give you to data ahead of your analysis. So we've done this. So now we are able to do our data matching. So the next thing we are going to be doing now is, you can rename your data here or double click here to rename it. Let me call it sales table. I can name it sales table. So my sales people, this is my sales people. So now you look at these sales people. We have the sales people here, which is supposed to be the column heading, which is below. You understand? This is where you need to be working on transformation I was telling you the other time. You can see use sports row as header. Use header as sports row. You get it? So now use sports row as header. When you click that, it will promote the data to the top. You see now we now have the correct name at the top. So I've done that. So now for the product table, let me see what we need to clean here. So you might want to rename some of these things if you like. So location, customers ID. So now let me go to product ID. You see this product ID? We have what we have here. We have discount, original price, current price, and tax. Let's go to our sales table. Our sales table, we have what do we have there? We have price of goods, and we have quantity. We have this is the price of the goods that was bought. Maybe a particular customer bought this particular stuff. You understand? Product that was bought. What is the original cost that we are using to selling it? You understand? If you want to get your total cost of a particular product, do you still remember the equivalent of getting our total cost? Total cost is going to give you the total quantity multiplied by what? Multiplied by the total the cost, the unit cost. You get it, the unit cost. So now, but on this sales table, we don't have our unit cost. You understand? So we need our unit cost here so that we can get the total cost if we are creating a table. So let me show you how we are going to do that. So now you remember we are talking about match query. So now the unit cost is under the product. The unit cost, which is this. This is the unit cost. Which is the current price. You get it? So this is the okay. Now this is the unit cost for this product. So after they remove discounts, the unit. Let me go to sales table. So this is the purchase. Okay, let me come to this. Okay. So now if you want to create relationship between these, like what match data does is this. So let's come to like now we want to bring this particular product unit cost. We want to bring it to come and meet sales table. Do you understand? So what you need to do is that you click on sales table that we are trying to import another variable to come and meet. So when you click here, go to match query. So this going to match query. So do you want to match this query as name, or you want to match it as no? You understand? Or to come and match it to this sales table. So what I want to do is I want the particular variable to come to this sales table. So I don't want it to be a new one. Match query. So when you click on this match query, so you now go and select the table that you want to pick a data from. I want to pick it from products. So what is the relationship between sales table and products? Because somebody tell us that, yeah, product ID. So you click on product ID here. This is a no code. You just click on product ID. So it will tell you that the selection matches 0 of 180 from first table. You understand? So you see that this when I click product name, is matching 0. You get it, which shows that I'm on the wrong side. So now when I click product ID, what do we have? The selection matches 10889 of 10889. You get it? So that's how you. So immediately you realize that one of the products does not match each other. What is happening? You have any mic on there? You know. So immediately you realize that one of there is this number is not totally exhaustible. You understand? You need to understand there is a problem with your ID. Is either one is in capital letter or they are not of the same value together. So you need to go back to your database and rectify that. So now you click OK, and you click OK. So this is what you will see. So now the product table has now been imported into sales table. Can you see it now? So now if you click, these are the things that we have under the product table. Do you want everything to show on this table, sales table? Do you want that? Okay, so now the only thing you want to bring here is this. You only want to bring the unit cost. Do you want, so if you use original column name, it will be showing you product bracket unit cost. But I don't want it to be showing the original table. It will be showing like, okay, you're referencing the product. So I don't want it to be like that. So the only thing I need here is just to show, give me the unit cost. You might as well say you want to copy everything here, all this data that we have here. You want to select all. You might want to select all. But the implication is that your database will be very large and your Power BI will begin to slow. You understand that the system can crash when the size is too much. So it's good to be minimizing because you can create relationship between the table already. So now you can bring your unit cost there. So when you do that, you see that unit cost is now showing here. All right, you want to ask a question? Sales table. So when you click sales table, when you click, it's already highlighted here. You go to match, then you match query. When you come to match query, it shows this one, it shows the sales table. Then you come to this place, you select the column you want to match with it. Then you match it, you select the ID that make them to have relationship. Then it gives you your report. Then you click OK. Then you proceed from there. So that's that about paid query. All right, go ahead. Exactly. That is exactly it. Yes, in SQL. So that is, you remember we are talking about this one-to-one, one-to-many. So this joining that we are doing here, append, you understand, all those inner join, outer join, all those things that you are doing, that's where you use it here. So you use it in two places here. So what we have done here, we've done all those in append and that's append and match. It's just about all those outer join, inner join. You understand? When you are taking from left of one particular product as the right, or you are taking from inner to inner, you understand? So now the next thing we are going to be doing is going to be, so I don't want to load this particular 2026. So this data, we already have this data. I'd like everybody to replicate what we have done today and begin to create some insights. Then tomorrow we are going to work intensively on that. So now I want to load this 2020 data. I want to ensure that when it's refreshed, it comes off of my dashboard, but I don't want it to be showing when I import my data. This is what I'm saying. Okay, I will stop this other two, but leave this 2019 so that you see the way it will come out. So now I want to import my data now. After, let's assume I'm done with my data cleaning. Like now, if you want to change this price, maybe this price, you want to change it to another thing. I want to change it to this form. You want to change this one to decimal percentage. You just click here to give you that appropriate data. You understand what I'm saying? Format does. So now, so the next thing, when you are done with your analysis, click close and apply. So when you click close and apply, it's apply all the things you have done, all the editing. For the business analysis or data analysis on Power BI, you spend more time on your Power Query editor, but that's where you do a lot of your work. You understand? You try to get your data being broken down into something that's very meaningful. So when you begin your analysis like this, you just begin to be plotting and begin to bring out insights. So now our data already being imported, you can see that you are importing the data and there is error. This loading will give you where the error is. You just need to read where the error is and then go and rectify it. So you can see that detecting relationship. So Power BI automatically detect relationship for you. So it will have helped us to do relationship by itself. You see now, the 2020 and 2018 is not showing because I've already disabled them. So this 2019, so I don't want because I'm not using it. So coming here is something that's going to be making my work to be over. So I can go back to this query. Then I just want you to see the way it will come. So that's the experience I'm trying to create. So I'm going to disable this. But one thing is that, you see, I'm disabling it here. So one thing is that the include in report refresh, whenever this report refresh, you still be reflecting on the sales table. Any adjustment you do on this table here, this one thing is that you cannot delete any of this table because you already referenced them. You see, it cannot be deleted because it's being referenced by another query. You get it? It cannot be deleted. You understand? So that's one of the things you need to know. So before you can delete it, all the table you use to reference it, you need to first of all delete those one first. So if you have more questions, you can still begin to raise your question. So now we have our data. So the last aspect of the class is this. So you can see that we have relationship now. In this data, you can see that this thing is very big. So you can come to this place, fit to screen, to fit it to screen, or you can use this to reset layout. You get it, layout, like change the form. You get what I'm saying? So like now, we call something fact table and dimension table. So fact table is the table that asks, like now in this table, how many tables do we have here? I hope you can see that we have about 5 tables. So fact table can be defined. Let me give you one big definition. Just about a table that comprises of other table. You understand? Like you have a universal set. You understand? It's the table that has other variable in them. So now you can see that this set table has is comprises of, let me increase this. So it has product ID, it comprises customer ID, it's comprised of local ID. So now the relationship now, so all these other table, they are going to be my dimension table. The dimension table means that their dimension, like they have a correlation to that sales table, which is fact table. So now this is how you create the relationship. You can create relationship in 2 ways. Is that how you, let me delete this one so that I can create relationship at first. I hope we are all getting what I've explained so far today. What you are going to be doing a lot of exciting projects, and there's going to be a reward for it. All right, sorry. So tomorrow, what I just said now is that tomorrow we are going to continue from this aspect. So today's focus is just to do ETL extraction, which means that picking data from the domicile source into Power BI. So transform is that after we pick the data, we begin to all those margin append that we have done. Those are the transformation formatting. Load is now that we've loaded the Power BI, the data inside the Power BI. I hope you get that. Like we have taken the data inside the Power BI now. You understand? Data modeling now. We want to create a relationship. That's what we are doing now. So now we can see that our sales table here, to connect relationship between our sales table is what we want to do. So you can do relationship in 2 ways. So you understand? Is anyone that is most convenient for you that you can do. So now let me zoom it so that you can see it very clearly. So I hope you can all see it clearly. So now, what is it? Okay, I'm using other speaker. All right. So now the customer ID here and sales table and customer ID and customer table, they have this is what relate them together. The customer ID, right? Do you get it? So what you just need to do, drag the customer ID to each other. It will form the relationship. You get what I'm saying? That's how you create relationship. You can do it for all like that. Yeah, I will show you that too. I will show you that too. So now another way you can create relationship is to come to when you come to manage relationship, it will show you the relationship here. You get it? So you can begin to now say, okay, new relationship, click on new relationship. You want to click on your sales table, you select sales table. After you select your sales table, just like the way we have it under the match the other time, then I want to create relationship between location. Then you begin to look at location ID and click location ID here too. You get it? Make this relationship active. You see one-to-one, you understand? This is the relationship. You click OK. So you come to the second one. All right. So you do it for all like that. You can go to second one, you create it like that. You click save table, you click maybe products, then you select the product. You see now the relationship is forming. Then you can click OK. You understand? As me when you are done creating the form. So the next thing, let's use the old procedure. Look at sales patient ID, here. So we have this like this. You can see the relationship has been formed. So when you are done forming the relationship, then you can now come to your Power BI. You can click your sales table here. You can begin to click your visualization. Like you want to look at sales, want to look at what is the unit cost of a particular product. Okay, sorry. You can put this one unit cost here. You can look at, okay, you can come to, since you already created the relationship, you can come to product name. You can draw product name here. Begin to see the cost of each product. Begin to see the cost of each product. You can begin to look at, okay, you can look at map, look at location, come to location here, drop, okay, what is the state? Drop your state name. When you drop your state, okay, what is the original state for each of the, and drop it. Then you begin to have your visual representation of your data. So you can as well drop your longitude. You can drop your longitude here. Drop your longitude here, and drop your latitude. Latitude here. You can see it now. Then you can resize it. Begin to make insight out of your data, and that's how you begin to write your story. So tomorrow we are going to connect again, and then start from here. This is where we are going to be building some exciting dashboard. So this is one of the preliminary dashboard that we are going to build first tomorrow. That's going to build something like this. So after we have built something like this, then I'm now going to show you how you can turn this dashboard into an exciting dashboard that that can look more digitizable like this. It's like play with. There's something that you can. Then we are going to explore some other type of dashboard. How you can create your own animation dashboard like this. How you can begin to have a portfolio on Power BI project. How you can create something that people will see and will say, okay, wow, this guy is doing amazing things. So tomorrow is that day. So I'll be looking forward to having you again tomorrow. So I will be like to take some questions and probably so that I can answer some of them. So we continue from this tomorrow. All right. Okay. I will try and see how I can get across then. All right. Okay. All right. So you can always drop your question to your group chat. I'll be there to pick it up. So I know there's another class that is coming up now. So I want to know that we all gain one or two things today in today's class. So a lot of excitement from the group here. All right. So what I've done today, I would like everybody to practice that, import data, create relationship, and then let me see what you have done. So tomorrow, first thing we are going to be doing tomorrow is that we are going to review that, what each and everybody have done. I hope we are in the same page on this. So import data, stop at where I stopped. So when you are done with your data, you save your work. You need to save your work, sorry. You need to save your file. Save your file. So anyway you want to do. Just save it like this. All right. So most especially for the people on the call. So thank you for joining. All right. So they will share the link of how to join on the Zoom link with you. All right. So this is going to be the end of today's session on Power BI. So tomorrow we are going to continue.